Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Quill Quickcard, and welcome. But first it is time to make the sound to summon the stream. Wow, 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 wow. Greetings and welcome. Sorry, little haphazard this morning. It's a little... I've been a little rushed this morning, so just need to get the chat up and running. Okay, that's up and running. That's good. Switch this to live chat. Switch this to live chat. Okay, think we're good. I'm hardcore blood clot making. I have no idea what you could possibly mean, so I will assume that you are once again referring to Binding of Isaac. Okay. So give me just 1 second. I just have to finish getting a message out here, and then we will begin properly. Sorry about that. Okay, I think we're good. I actually thought I had muted my mic there for the last minute. Apparently I had not. It is good then that I was not mumbling to myself, as is often something I do. Anyway, greetings, dear viewers. I'm Quill Quickcard, and welcome back to the RPG Maker Community Project. So, I have upgraded my RPG Maker and its systems to version 1.9. There is still another version on top of that, version 1.10. I have not updated everything to 1.10 yet. That's because I nearly ended up crashing all of my projects just when I updated the core scripts to 1.9. It's an issue that I first had when I first tried to go up from like 1.6 years ago. So I am very slowly and very methodically updating the projects and then testing to make sure that they don't break, since these are long-term projects. So we're up to version 1.9.1, which is pretty good. There's honestly not that much meaningfully different, at least not, in anything that we're going to be dealing with. I do want to actually show something real quick, and this is a little feature that RPG Maker has had a long time, but I've never really shown off. If you right-click on a map and go to Save as Image, you can actually save, like, PNGs of the maps that you generate, which can actually be really fun just for, like, pixel art and stuff, or just to give them references. And honestly, I love that stuff. I love this. It's really cool. Obviously, anything like here in Contributor Town where you're using, events to actually fill in tiles aren't going to appear, but the rest of it does. I always love that. I've actually made some D&D maps, like macro level maps, using that system before. Anyway, one of the things added in the update was actually to make smaller versions rather than just always a one-to-one version of a map as an image, which I think could actually be really useful for documenting certain projects, making guides or other visual aids for projects. Anyway, last time we were working at the docks, and we got a fully functioning boss fight with Catasby, and we were sort of trying to brainstorm how the heck do we get to the next area, because we have a lot of information that we need to get across. So the players need to learn about the root beer gods and the magical cats and their plot to pit the batfolk and the catfolk against each other in order to appease their gods. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, and it wasn't really clear how we were going to have a connective tissue between these next parts of the project. However, I have figured this out. So, here is what we are going to do. After the boss is beaten, you gain access to the Pepsi Land dock, and Catasby sort of suggests that you go back to the Catfolk town. So you go back to the Catfolk town. On your way in, probably, like, I don't know, I'll put it somewhere in here. But there will be an event where Catasby perceives something that the rest of the party can't. And you'll get into a battle, and it will look like there isn't an enemy there at all. And Catasby will use their echolocate. And this is going to serve as kind of a tutorial to what echolocation does, assuming that you never used it in the boss fight. And it's going to reveal a flying creature, like a familiar, a spy of some kind. And when it's noticed, it's going to run off, it's going to leave the village. And when you get back to the overworld, you are actually going to watch the familiar fly off and head, like, over to the jungle and kind of disappear from sight. So then the player gets on their boat, they go over there, they interact with that spot, and that is how they find the secret location of one of the magical cats, and they overhear a conversation, and they start to get some of this exposition, and they start to get some of this backstory. So that is a lot of stuff that we have to do. This is going to be a fair amount of event work today. So the first thing I need to do Hello, Aubrey. Welcome to the stream. We are, in fact, addressing the issue of the magical cats today. So, the first thing we need is... here in the cat folk village. Well, actually, the first thing we really need is, to check which trigger we are using here. The docks over switch is the one that we are using in order to indicate, okay, the stuff at the docks is done. So, when the... We have so many switches. When the docks over switch is on, we're going to have this auto run, and the first thing it's going to do is disable itself to prevent future auto running. So how do I do this? What if you wait a good 10 seconds after entering the village, and then it automatically runs this event? That might be enough. Let's give it a test. Come on, guys. Yeah. We have to get through the boss fight. Alright. So, Katasby can use echolocate on this fight, but it is not strictly necessary in order to defeat it. Which is why we're giving a more explicit tutorial on echolocation to reveal hidden enemies. So we're going to go ahead and activate debug code 321 to kill the enemies. Goodbye, Captain Clawba. And goodbye, First Mate Goldback. So we start to leave. You can now use the docks on the north side of Pepsi Land to embark and disembark from your ship. You now have 5 party members in your party. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and save up here again, debug code 3. So it should be that 10 seconds after walking into here, we get a text box from seemingly nowhere. And that is exactly what happens. 10 seconds of wandering around gives you a text box with seemingly no origin point. That is exactly what I'm going for. So I want to see how that interacts with talking to an NPC. Does it just pop up when the dialogue is done? No, the timer freezes while you're in dialogue. Really? Does it loop? No. Okay, so it is still one and done. Okay. So how do we make this happen? Okay. So we are going to loop. And we need something that it can check. We need something that it can check specifically in order to break the loop. So, how do we do this? Honestly, it's probably just easiest to avoid parallel processing and just do a 10-second timer. Because I think that will cue the event processing as opposed to just having it ignore background thing. Okay. Okay. So, I was afraid of that. Okay, there's definitely a way that I can do this. Okay. So we have it loop where it waits and then it triggers a battle. And instead of running that switch, we can run spy revealed, maybe? Okay. And then if we just take this troop, put it here, but we also have it turn on the spy revealed switch. I think that will stop it from looping. It might. I've never actually tried to design a system like this, where essentially something is running a hidden timer in the background, and then when it runs out, will activate an event regardless of the player's location, and which, if interrupted by the player doing something else at the time it hits, will just reset itself. So first, okay. So, if this works the way I want, we will not get another battle. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, it appears that that works exactly as I wanted. Yes. Okay, so now we are going to test this, where if I am in dialogue when the battle should be started, 4, 5, 6... Okay. That's an interesting glitch. Okay, so that system is not going to work. It's just not. Is this tile walkable? It probably is. I would assume it is walkable. Okay. So every possible tile where the player could walk over here is here, here, and here. Hello, Mystic. Welcome to the stream. Alright, we're just going to do this a little differently then. Screw that whole system. We're just going to do this the way that I would normally do a system like this, where we just have a specific location that triggers the event. So, Katasby is just going to be like... wait. There's something here. And then we get into the encounter 139. So that event would be there, there, or there. These are the only 3 tiles that you would have to pass through in order to get out of this area deeper into the town. So we can have the spy here. And we need something that can fly. Just like a basic monster. This should be fine. Frequency, highest, speed. Faster. It only appears when spy revealed is active. It auto runs when it appears. No, it really doesn't need to auto run. It just needs to stand there. But we do need another switch for spy flees. So once the spy flees, it disappears. So wait, something's here. Spy reveal is turned on in that encounter. So when we are done, the player turns right, gather followers, What is that thing? Some kind of spy? Okay, so from its starting position here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 and 5. So spy moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's actually go. The spy moves down to . Katasby will be like, quick, after it. And at that point, the player who is going to be located here, 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 is going to move right, 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 down. So right, 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 down, right, down. So right, 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 down, right, down takes you to here. Right, 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 down, takes you to here. Right, 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 down takes you to here. Right, 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 down, down. Right, 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 down, down. So that would mean we would be either in one of these two positions. Okay, so right, 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 down. So right, 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 down, down, down. And then right, 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 down, 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 right, down. I think this is a sequence of movements that basically puts the players here, regardless of their starting position. And then the spy itself needs to move another 4 spaces down, 4 spaces right, and then become transparent. Okay. And then we'll turn off the switch spy flees. I think that works. Let's give it a quick try. Test it from each of the 3 positions. Well, we really only need to test it from 2. So first thing we're going to do, turn on the auto win tablet. Turn on our debug code just to save again with that on. Okay. Wait, there's something here. Whoops. Nope, that's not right. No. You need to activate on Event Touch and the Troop Spy Reveal, so that should function. We are raided. We're under attack. I can't believe we're under attack. Okay. So we're first going to test it here. What is that thing? Some kind of spy? Quick after it. Okay. That worked. We're gonna change its speed to normal. Movement seems to work out. So we are going to gather the followers, then we go into the battle. Well, it just said Yes, who has raided us today? Is it Shinny again? I didn't catch the message. Okay, this works. Some kind of spy, quick after it. Okay. That works. We'll just have it move one more space to the right. And pop those down. Okay, so we now have a trigger to start this event. So now what we need is to modify the actual event. So that Katasby uses their echolocation so okay. There's something here. I can smell it. We're going to take a couple of enemies here. So we need a hidden and a non-hidden version of the spy. So where is my bat? Here's the bat. Okay, can we make it a little bit more purple? Yeah, I think that's good. And this hidden spy has no visual asset whatsoever. So this is the spy revealed troop. And we need the hidden spy. Okay, I actually need a visual in order to position this thing. Okay. So hidden spy is going to be right here. And then we remove the visual from the hidden spy. There's something here, I can smell it. Malter will have something to say here. Are you sure that isn't the drugs talking? Okay. So then we will have a conditional branch. If Katasby's in the party, well, we already know that Katasby is going to be in the party. So is there a way I can differentiate Would it make more sense if he heard it because it's echolocation? That's a good idea. I'm wondering if there's a way I can... screw the conditionals. Let's see. He'll just say... I'm half bat. I can detect hidden things using my echolocation. Okay. So then we'll have a special version of echolocation that is used for this scene. And it will say Katasbi emits a targeting sound wave. Sure. Echolocate reveal. Honestly, we can probably just make this like a null thing. Give it a free mana cost. That should be fine. So we will actually force the enemy to use the special echolocate version in order to reveal themselves. And then we need to transform the enemy into a visual version of themselves. And Kataz will say it. This thing was spying on the village. I have no idea how or why he knows that. But, sure. This thing was spying on the village. Okay. So, we'll give it like just 100 in like across the board in its stats. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. It just attacks. So on turn 2, Katasbi will say, it's trying to escape, and then we abort the battle, so then it flies away. Alright, let's see how all of this meshes together right now. Everybody here who is new to the stream, you are absolutely more than welcome. Sorry, I was just kind of rambling trying to get that to work for a minute. I'm Cool Quickcard, and you have stumbled upon the RPG Maker community project. Every week for more than a year, I have been building this game in RPG Maker MZ by relying on as many ideas, suggestions, and comments from viewers as possible. People who catch the live screens, people who chat on our Discord, or just people who leave comments on the videos. So you are more than welcome here. You are more than welcome to contribute if you have ideas for what you think could be interesting to add to the game. You know, it's been a weird time. We've got a drug-using Catman, a Maltermite Pepsi drone, Margaret Thatcher, Ryu the Dragon. It's been a weird time. Okay, so then we get into a fight with it. So it's strong enough that we can't really kill it. Okay. Never mind. What is that thing? Some kind of spy? Quick after it. So we chase after it. Almost got all of this done. So we need to make this enemy... We'll just make it immortal, just so it can't die. It is 100% resistant to being dead. Cool. Alright, so now we have a whole scene where we find the spy leaves, and then out on the world map, we will see it here, and it will fly off to this island over here. So we go overworld here. Alright. So when Spy Revealed is active, it will start by facing down. It will have self-switch. It will auto-run. Yes, I think that will work. Okay. So the first thing it is going to do when it starts running is it's going to move down and then several spaces to the left. And then it is going to turn up, and then it is going to activate a self-switch. We are going to decrease its speed. The player is going to turn left to watch it fly away. And Katasby will comment on it. It flew off to the west. I wonder where it went. Okay, good. So I need some way you can go and find it. Okay. We're going to need a different switch. Hidden jungle dock turned on. So I need something here. So it appears when you are on your ship. I need a good copy of the dock protocol. Disembark. Okay. So it will be visually marked. And we're just going to have like a hidden jungle dock. So let's see this all come together. Uh-huh. Okay. So then we get into the fight. Uh-huh. And after a couple turns, it just flies away. Click after it. You go after it. It flew off to the west. I wonder where it went. And now, when you're on a boat, there's a disembarking point located there. So you can now go and chase after it. But this needs to only be done once the spy has been revealed. Okay. We got it. So now we can start working on the next map area. Honestly, it might work just to use the jungle. Yeah. Might just use the jungle stuff here. Let's see. We need like a jungle environment. Okay, that's not bad. Grass maze kind of works. What else? What else? What else? What else? Ooh. Grass maze, kind of like that. Alright, so MV grass maze. Then we need the ground here. Not poison swamp. Meadow. Grass maze pool, that's fine. So now we need our music for it. Ooh, you know what? Actually, not having any music here? What if we just went for like a night, like just ambient night noises? Ooh. Okay. 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 I think that works. Let's make it a bit of a wider map. We haven't done, like, a good wider map in a while. So let's make it... Let's make it 25 by 40. Call it good. Okay. Do I have some good wood I can use as a dock? I do. Okay. And we'll put something on to play over that. Just since we're going to be doing some map work for a bit. There we go. Okay. This should be decent enough to listen to while I work. Okay, so we need, like, a hidden dock. That's the first most important thing. So, it's just gonna be, like, a little thing. And that leads to a bit of dirt. And then that bit of dirt goes up a grassy wall. Okay. Here we go. So it's gonna be like a little hidden cove, almost. Okay. There we go. Okay, I like that. So, we have a deeper stretch of water. Just like that. And then we'll dot around a few of these. I also want this to not be ground like that. We're going to have like a wooden dock coming out the top. Okay. Oh. Oh, that might look a little better. It also might not. I don't know. I think that looks fine. Okay. So what I actually need is like this. Yes. Like just a hidden dock. Nah, that doesn't quite look right. Okay. That works. I think that works very well. Okay. So we can have a couple little waterfalls as well. And then this will give some sense of the geography up here. Okay. Just like that. And then this big river that just goes off into the distance, like that. Okay. That's pretty good. Alright. Now let's scatter around a few grass walls. And there we go. Just paint them up like that. Okay. And there we have the very basic structure of this map. We'll have the river continue through here. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. So let's place a few pieces of debris in the water. Some flowers, some lily pads. Just like that. That looks great. Okay. Yeah, that's really good. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this looks as good if I use those. That definitely doesn't look as good. Alright, how do I want to build this map? Okay, I think we need way more forest barrier. It just really doesn't feel sufficient. There we go. Okay. I think that looks really good. Yeah, I really do. I think that looks great. I think that looks really good. Okay. So we don't forcibly change the tile set, but we do load this area facing left. Okay. And then we need to steal one of the embarkation triggers. So, embark, on boat, yes. Followers off. Overworld transfer here. Facing right. Okay. I think that functions. So now we need ways across. I have an idea that's kind of stupid yet cool. Please, go ahead. I'm happy to listen to any suggestions. I think it's like a basic log bridge kind of works here. Okay. There we go. Alright, now we have different areas connected. So now that they're connected, I need to separate them a little bit more. Okay, kind of like that, like that. So you go up the... So you basically show up here. You go up. You can get over here. You can get over here. You can get over here, over here. You can get over here. A boss fight against a sea creature or migratory bird flock that's visible on the word map. If you don't want to make it optional, a dragon is fine as well. I really like that idea. I'm going to put a pin in that. That is actually a really cool idea. We can do something with that. We do already have the Storm Dragon fight, but I'm happy to add more stuff out to the ocean. More sailing boss fights. Or just overworld boss fights. Okay. So this looks pretty good. I like it. But there's still more I can do with it. First, let's decorate the walls. And then once the walls are decorated, we will move on to decorating the ground itself. Okay. Cool. Some vines. Vines are fine. When I'm watching a stream, I keep getting that one Pepsi worker stuck in my head. This is nothing but meaningless scribbles. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely how it be sometimes. Okay. Let's pop these little decorations around. Pop these little green... They're supposed to be like green crystals, but honestly they work just as well for actual like plant life. I think they work great just to be like scrub grasses and stuff. Okay. Now we add a few rocks lying around. Everybody likes a big mossy rock. Okay. Then a few bigger mossy rocks. Okay. That works. And then a few vines that are just out of the way. Feel like in the Pepsi dimension they found an axolotl flying fish hybrid. Yeah, that sounds like something you would assume. No, not there. Okay. Can we have just like a little piles of rubble here? And just a spot on the ground. I think that works. Okay. Is there anything else that I need to flesh this out? Or am I ready to just see how it looks? I want to see this. I want to see how this looks. Okay. So let's go through the whole thing. There's something here. We get into a fight. So then we fight. Thatcher. The hidden spy kind of looks cute. Why is it dying? Oh. Right. Because I'm not making the hidden spy after it appears visible. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. And this hidden spy is just going to have a bunch of question marks, so so that when the fight initially starts, you just see the question marks. So you don't even know it's like a hidden spy. Okay. Testing attempt 2. Okay. So now we can hit it with whatever the hell we want to. I have another dumb idea. Please, do share. It's still dying. It's supposed to be immortal. Okay, but you go after it. It flies off. It flew off to the west. I wonder where it went. Okay. We are going to drop our debug code here. So now we can see the landing spot. And it's like this kind of mysterious area. Yeah, you're right, Cole. This looks so damn good. An optional boss you can only access through fishing. And it's a giant axolotl. This looks so damn good. Like, I'm being serious. This might be one of my favorite maps I've ever built. This is wonderful. Oh, I love it. And then we can get back on the ship to leave. And back on. Oh my god, that looks good. Okay. So. Bigger things here. There. Way more damage than they could ever possibly need. But on top of that, we are also going to literally make them immortal. Enemy state, apply, enemy 1, immortal. You know what? Entire troop, immortal. They cannot die. So that should solve that issue. Next issue. Honestly, there really wasn't much of the way of other issues. But what I do want for this area is this. Okay. We're going to have a screen tinting effect. And, of course, every map also now has to have the rain thing. I feel like Katasby loves eating crabs. Though that is lovely. Thank you. I'm quite proud of it. I thought it looked great. Okay. So now that we have this, how do I advance it past here? I kind of like the idea of having another map, kind of like this one, that you access like from up here. So it basically goes from this to another map that's kind of like this. We really haven't done like a proper outdoor map since we built the mountain. And the mountain was a completely linear single hallway. We can also add some of the hookshot points in the next map. So, yeah, let's make a copy of this. And we are just going to clear the entire thing. Okay. Let's go with 40 by 40. This is the hidden dock, and this is the this will be the overgrown jungle. So we have the night sound, but in this part of the map, we actually have a background music. Ooh. Are all the dragons from the Coke dimension? No, dragons are native to this world. Although, until only a few centuries ago in the history of this world, the entire dragon population lived on a single island that was isolated from the rest of the world. They weren't an unknown form of life, but you would be as surprised to see one anywhere else than that island as you would be if a kangaroo walked past your window in Britain. It's just not a thing you would expect, even knowing that they exist. Okay. That works. So we're going to wipe the whole map. Basically like Komodo dragons with wings. If that helps, yes. There we go. Okay, now that we have the music selection, we'll turn it down and we will keep working on part 2, the overgrown jungle. So first things first, let's map out where we actually want it to go. So the path starts here and follows the river a little bit. So there's going to be an area over here that you access with the hook shot. And that can kind of branch a little bit. The main path will go up this way. It can branch a little bit over here. Can go here. We can have another hook shot accessible route here that sort of loops down there. This one can also hook shot over here, which sort of loops up and around and has a path leading off of it. This path continues to loop around and goes here. There's another branching path that goes up here, and this will connect to another hookshot point, which will ultimately lead to the destination. So, hookshot point, hookshot point, hookshot point, hookshot point, hookshot point, hookshot point. I feel like the Storm Dragon likes sleeping in lakes. Maybe. And then this we're just going to mark as our destination. Okay. So we now have a very rough view of the area that we are building. So we need a little bit of space for the hookshot areas. And let's make them a bit smaller than other hookshot areas I have built before. Just because it's a hell of a lot easier to work with. Okay. So there we go. We have the hookshot points. So now that we have the hookshot points, I want like a big waterfall here. I really like the idea of having a large waterfall. So let's say that there's a giant waterfall right here. And then there'd be water at the top, of course. We can make this section also only accessible by hookshot. I think that's kind of an interesting idea. So if we want to have a giant waterfall here, we need to have a large wall separating this area of the jungle. So something kind of like this. Okay. So now we have a clear upper and lower division for the entire jungle, which is good. So we are going to have like stairways that go up in the various locations. like here and here. Okay. So now if we reapply the walking paths, they look a bit more like this. Okay. And this is another hookshot point. We're just going to head and make sure that the hookshot points are more specially marked so that they are easier just to see and work with. Okay. So then we need water dividing the various hookshot points. Like there and there. Okay. So this is going to wrap around here, and then there'll be like a cave there. And we can have like another little cave here. This one goes here. Okay. And then this whole path continues that way. So then we have a little bit more here. A little bit more river that continues this way. It's okay if it's a little bit messy. If you ate a mermaid, is that technically cannibalism? I don't believe it would be. We wouldn't consider... We don't consider the... Is that a lake? A lot of this is watery, but not necessarily a lake. Okay. So now we need to make the grassy paths. So the area from the last place leads here along these lines. So then here we go. We sort of have the path go like this. Okay. There we go. Okay. Where's my hookshot thingamadooders? I need my hookshot madoodles. Do I not have my hookshot madoodles? No, here they are. Okay, good. Okay, so one is here. 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 Using poisonous berries or nuts as ammo. That is something we could do, but who would be using it? The only person we have that would use something like ammo is Malter, and he's using guns. Okay. So we have another little section here. And we have another section here. Okay. Just like that. There we go. Just like that. Okay, and then this area, we have a couple little windy paths here. And it just looks like that. Okay. So this should be all of the walkable areas finished. Okay. So now I just need to set the walls like that, and that, and that, and that. Okay. There we go. This whole area is blocked off. That's fine. There we go. Okay, that works. We're just going to slowly add our walls bit by bit. Okay. Look at that. That looks really good. Okay. Okay. Here, and here. Okay. This map is coming along really, really well. Boom, boom. And I think that is beautiful. So now we will darken up different parts of the terrain. Just like that. Okay. That looks good. Yeah, I think that's good. There. Make sure that none of the hook shots are visible from unexpected angles. I think I got that covered. We also have this big waterfall. I do like that a lot. Okay. And now we will cover some different areas in like a heavy moss. Just to further sell the whole overgrown jungle thing. Okay. That looks good. And then a little bit of scuff in different places. Ooh. Look at that. So green. Okay. Okay, I think that's great. So now we need a couple of caves, a couple of cave entrances. And there we go. We add that there as the final destination. Okay. And now we start applying the wall decorations. Just scatter them all over the place. Okay. Along with vines. Just throw them around haphazardly. There is no reason to try and make a pattern. The result will be better looking if there is no consistent pattern. There we go. You know what? Let's actually just do this. Cool. All right, that looks good. Alright. We need a bunch of little bits of greenery sprinkled throughout the entire map. They're good everywhere except on the scuff. Okay, that's fine. Cool. That's looking pretty good so far. Alright. Let's place a few mossy rocks. Sure. And then a few bigger mossy rocks. Where else do I have room for bigger mossy rocks? Here's a big mossy rock. 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 Okay. And then back down on the default terrain layer. We can... spread some little bits around in the water. Just like that. Okay. There we go. Just scatter it around various spots. Okay. That's pretty good. I'm probably going to end the stream after I do a little more map testing. Just because I do actually have a pretty busy day ahead of me today. And honestly, the amount I've already gotten done is really, really satisfying to me already. Okay, that all seems fine. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to need H1. We are going to need H2. We are going to need H3. I think H1 through H3 might be enough. They're all going to start here. So you'd be standing here, you'd go here. So that's hook, and then it becomes 2, hook, and then it becomes 3, hook, and then it becomes 4, and then you get pulled across. Okay. So building the hook shot for this area shouldn't be a problem. Okay. So here is the swamp with the screen tinted a little differently. And that leads into the overgrown jungle. So across this way, there's some stuff, but no progress. Up here, over here is another entry. We have a cave there. But for progress, we have to continue up the path. This way leads to a cave. We have the jungle waterfall, which looks great. We can hook shot across here. And finally, we can hook shot across here, which leads to a path going down. And that's where we will overhear the schemes of the magical cats. Okay. I think it works okay. Do want to make a small adjustment there. But all in all, that looks absolutely beautiful. I think this is gorgeous. Okay. I do want to make a small change. I do want it to be slightly more light. Particularly with the green, and we can have this change happen subtly over, let's say 3 seconds, I think is a good length of time. And yes, this is the one we want to replace. Okay. All right. I think that's where we are going to stop with actual development work today. So, players bump into something invisible, or Katasby senses something invisible while on drugs, stumble upon an invisible spy that is revealed with echolocation, and then it runs off and the players follow it and stumble upon the magical cat discussing their plans and get their first big reveal. Okay. So this is the one, like, sentence that we were working on today, and I think we were doing really well. So between this stream and the next stream, 1, get the jungle hook shot spots built. That is the one thing I'm going to focus on before we get into the next stream. And then next stream, we want to, 1, build the area and scene where we overhear the magical cats providing exposition. We want to brainstorm and do initial design for jungle monsters. We want to place jungle treasures. That's another important one. Honestly, I think that's pretty good for everything that I need to do between this and the next stream, and what our big goal should be for the next stream. So I think that is going to be it for today. So thank you everybody for stopping by. I always appreciate having people contributing their thoughts and ideas to this project. It really does mean a lot to me. This has been such a fun thing to work on. Yeah, I think that's it. You can join me on Tuesday. Right? Tuesday? Yes. You can join me on Tuesday. I will be doing my next Banjo Tooie stream. Next week, Saturday, is going to be Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. I'm going to be doing the Delta episode. The Nuzlocke was a success. The Nuzlocke rules are done. I just want to do the Delta episode again because I've only actually ever done it once in my life, and I just want to see it narratively again. So it's just Alpha Sapphire, Delta episode, no challenge or anything active for that. But the week after that, we will be moving on to Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Nuzlocke, so that should be exciting. A week from today, we'll be back here with more RPG Maker. The current daily series on the channel is Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Real excited to get that finished up, and be on the lookout because on Valentine's Day, I will be starting my annual Valentine's Day series, and this year I am playing through the classic visual novel canon, but I am making the girls have to fight for me. So, really fun. I can't wait to get that out there. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all in the next one, and it is time to make the sound to summon the end of the stream. Wow, 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 wow.